So we're going to grab this downspout right here. This fills up with water and just floods. So we're going to put a French drain in there. We're going to grab this downspout. They always come in and give the guys a general direction, and then they set up the laser level, and then they have the okay to just go. Now check this out. They're getting some water in the basement. Well, failed roof runoff. But there was another problem. This grade is too high. Negative slope, grade too high. So the homeowner removed all the landscape. It was built up on the brick veneer, and it was damaging the brick veneer. You see how the brick veneer, see all the effervescence coming out of that brick veneer? He saved this house. He saved it. This was going to start shaling. He was going to end up with all kinds of damage to the exterior of the home, and if the water gets inside the wall, then it's going to hurt your rough construction. So we're going to do a French drain right here. Now look at how the grade just steps up now that he took out all the old landscape. Again, he had basement water issues that he needed to resolve. We got a French drain right in here, went right up into the corner there. See, it's right under that hose bib. Sometimes these leak. We want to grab up all that water. The guys did a great job. They were working the laser level. They're going to drop that roof runoff system in here. We're going to grab that downspout. Now see, that downspout went that way, and the grade did not fall enough. The grade's too high here. It's actually negative to the house. This falls. It drops off. It just drops big time. I mean, you get down here, it's just crazy how much drop we have in falls. So you have to look at that, which way to go. This is pretty flat. You're going out all the way to the back to even get to this kind of a drop. You know, I like the downspouts to be 20 feet away from the house. Typically, that's what we're shooting for. You know, 15 feet's the absolute minimum. 20 feet's a sweet spot. Look at this, beautiful. Just drops right here. Now, over here on the side of the house, we had an option. We could have went this way and took it out to here to accomplish the same thing, or we could just take it to the side lot, which just drops off like a cliff. So this is like 25 feet versus probably 60 feet. If we took it out this way, 60, 70 feet. So that's what you do when you're deciding, where do I go with my roof runoff water? Well, where do you have more drop? All right, the guys are hooking up a downspout and a French drain. Francisco's got a 4-inch Y. He has a 3.5-inch 45 to make this connection. So we're using a 4-inch to 3.5-inch reducer. I want to show you how to do that. Patrick cut 7 ribs. That's it, guys. It's that easy. I like 7 ribs because 3 go in each hub. Obviously, you can cut 6 and it would work, but I just like knowing that we're snapped in correctly. So that's it. It's, you know, offset. You can see how the 3.5 lays flat on the bottom of the trench, and the 4-inch lays flat on the bottom of the trench. That's why we made this reducer. You don't want a belly. Beautiful work. So we're taking 2 3.5-inch 8-slot lines. We're putting them into a 4-inch wide. We have our 3.5 to 4 reducer so that we can make that connection, and then the next line is going in that 3.5-inch 45. So we're going to get the catch basin in about 3.5 feet from the downspout. We have the French drain and the roof runoff system combined into this one cleanout. We can access both of them through this cleanout. Now, because we have a solid roof runoff system line, and this is the discharge line as well for the French drain, we're going to tape this up. Inside the French drain system, you don't have to tape all your connection points because it's a permeable system and you're trying to let the water in. Man, this French drain is going to scream. There will never be water laying up against the back of this house again. It's impossible. So on downspout lines, always tape where the coupler connects to the pipe and where the coupler connects to the not quite a 90 or catch basin. There's going to be two locations that you need to have some really good, super stretchy, super sticky tile tape. This stuff lasts for 200 years. It's built special for drainage. It was developed for the tile fields of agricultural drain systems. So the men had two Ys. They had a Y for the double pipe French drain, and then the second Y is to grab up this downspout on the back of the house. We're using the same discharge line for the French drain as we're using for this downspout. You don't have to tape the connections for the perforated pipe. It's going to be covered in stone and it's going to be letting the water in. It's going to be taking water in. Now, we don't want to let all the water out behind this house that we're catching right here at the downspout. When you catch the water at a downspout, you don't want to let it go. It's a nightmare to regather and you're never going to get it all. So once caught, don't just dump it close to the house in a French drain. Seal everything up. And let's get this water safely away from the home where we have a lot of fall. Where the stone is going to stop, we're going to run drainage stone past the perforated pipe a little bit. We pocketed this enclosed system because you got to remember, we're going to have this system fully encapsulated with the nonwoven geotextile filter fabric. We don't want the dirt to migrate into the stone. We need the voids between the stone to take in all the water to get it to the perforated pipe. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that. The nonwoven geotextile filter fabric that's double punched is a key part of our success. No tape necessary on the French drain unless you're using couplers that don't hold, but our couplers hold. They hold great. They have the best clips in the market. None of our stuff is blow molded. It's all mold injected. And our tooling has a lot of action. It gives us this incredible clip, this spring-loaded barbed clip, 4 of them on every hub. This stuff holds. It's never going to come apart. So this catch basin ended up quite deep. Francisco's got 3 risers, 2 inches each riser, so that's 6 inches of rise. This is our 4-inch sediment trap. They overdug the hole underneath it. The lines are on the bottom of the trench. That 4-inch line is touching the bottom of the trench. The catch basin is suspended. So these rocks, these little pea stones just roll underneath it. Stone is 99% compacted. You don't have to do anything much. You don't want to lift the catch basin up because the stone will roll under it and now you'll have a humped up catch basin. You'll end up with bellies in the line. Your catch basin won't be catching all the sediment anymore if that's the case. So you want to make sure that your lines are at the bottom of the trench. So no glue, no screws for the risers on the catch basin. They have a flange so that the dirt or stone, depending on the install, will actually hold those risers in place. Everything was thought about for convenience, speed, and longevity. Look at how these risers stack together. This is a 6-inch rise, and it's done with 3 risers. It's nice and smooth on the inside. We went through this system methodically, and we built every single component. There's not a single piece of PVC throughout this entire system. It's all HDPE, it's indestructible. In the winter, if there's a freeze up, it just swells up. And then when it thaws, it'll go ahead and just contract. It doesn't crack. All right, so the guys dug underneath the pop-up emitter, made a hole underneath the pop-up emitter, put a piece of fabric in, and they're filling around the pop-up emitter with drain stone. Remember, you don't tape the pop-up emitter on. You want the water to leach away. So during a rain, all the bulk water is going to come spraying out of the pop-up. A decent hard thunderstorm and you'll see water coming out of the pop-up. When the system is done flowing the bulk water and the rain subsides, what's left in the end of this line at the pop-up emitter is nothing. It's just a few pails of water. When you don't tape the pop-up emitter and you go ahead and put it in a bed of pea stone like we did, that water will leach into the subsurface soil over the next 48 hours. You don't have to worry about this holding water and then being frozen in the wintertime. I just want to show everybody this catch basin. So we have those risers on this catch basin. We have it at dirt level, not turf level, just a little recessed. We're going to be able to access this line anytime. It's a clean out. We can grab any shingle gravel that comes off the roof in the sediment trap. We're never going to need to, but you could always, run a garden hose up inside the French drain pipe with this sediment trap right here. The guys did a beautiful job.
If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding drainage, leave them in the comments. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video,